Hi, I'm Randy Robison. Welcome to this wonderful edition of Life Today, digital edition. I'm here with Kim Walker-Smith, and if you know her, then you know. Welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about her book, Brave Surrender, which is really, really good. Trust me on that. But, you know, for all of us who love the Jesus culture music and have been touched by the music, just thank you. I mean, pouring yourself out, and it's been a blessing. I mean,
Thank you.
A serious blessing to a lot of us. So I know you hear that all the time, but I just wanted to say it.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your book, because I tell you what, I didn't know. I mean, I've heard you sing, we do your songs in church, and had no idea the hell you had been through.
Yeah.
Tell us whatever you want to tell us, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have asked over the years just a little bit about, you know, my story or my background, or they might hear me say little tidbits here and there. And so it raised a lot of questions. And so this book is the first time that I've ever shared my full story publicly. But I had my parents divorced when I was 4, and I had 3 stepfathers after that. 2 of those stepfathers were really abusive. And I grew up with a lot of fear, a lot of pain. I felt like I grew up at a really young age, and I took on kind of a identity and responsibility that I have to take care of my mom, I have to take care of my siblings. I wanted to protect them, to be their protector. Also this kind of thing that there wasn't anyone or anything else protecting me or protecting them, and that was my role. And when my 3rd stepdad came into our lives, he was a really solid Christian and really changed everything about our lives. But one of the most profound impacts he had on me that I couldn't really see at the time was that he was the first person to really bring a relationship with God into our home where I could see it outside the walls of a church. So he had this real relationship with Jesus.
Yeah, so your other stepfathers, or at least one of them, if I remember correctly, went to church.
Off and on, yes.
And was abusive at home.
Yes.
So that, I mean, for a child, that's devastating and confusing.
It's really confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this was completely different, where he was a really loving man, a really kind man, a really patient man. But he was also, you know, he'd pray out loud and he'd say, "Thank you, God, for my daughters." And he was just, everything about his relationship with God was lived out loud and in front of us. And I was a very angry and hurt teenager because of everything I'd walked through. And when I was a senior in high school, all of that was building up. The pain, the anger, I don't know how to be a kid anymore. And now that it's safe and I can be a kid, I don't know how. I felt like I grew up at a really young age, and I just felt kind of robbed and stuck. And I just didn't know what to do with myself. And that led into a really heavy depression and anger. And my senior year of high school, I tried to commit suicide, and it didn't work. And I woke up, and when I woke up, without a symptom, without a stomach ache, without anything.
You had downed a bunch of pills.
Yes, downed a bunch of pills. And I woke up with, you know, no headache, nothing. And the first thought in my mind was, God must be real, and he must really love me. And I decided to give my life to him. And I said, but you've got to set me free. And after that, I kept my word in giving my life to him and not looking back. But that began a process for me of many years, actually, of walking through inner healing and really allowing God to rewire me from the inside out and help me get to a place of forgiveness and wholeness, and really teaching me about relationship with him and what that looks like. And as I say in my book, letting him rewrite my story. And that's really what Jesus did for me, is he changed my perspective about my life and my past, and when I look back now, I can see the hardship and I can see the pain, but I just see him so much more. I see Jesus so much bigger, and I see where he was moving in my life and how he took all of the ugly mess of my life and created something really beautiful like only he can. And yeah, that's probably like the gist of the story there.
And there's I want to ask you about 5 different questions in 5 different directions. This comes through when you sing, and the lyrics, the passion, the in-betweens,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But I think most of all, it is spiritual.
Yeah.
I mean, and I remember watching some of the early stuff and going, something serious is going on here. How do you think how does that all feel to you? I mean, because you're really, when you think about freedom, you know what you're talking about, you know?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. So the stepdad that I mentioned, my third stepdad who really brought that stability and church, you know, everything into our lives, he passed away just a few years ago, and I didn't really realize this till after he passed away, but when I began my walk with Jesus and when I started becoming a worship leader, I naturally did what I had seen him doing, which was just this authenticity of his relationship being lived out loud. So the prayers and the things that were coming out of him were not done in secret or in a room behind closed doors. They were out loud in front of us. And I feel like that's how I am as a worship leader, that there's not really a lot of differentiation between what you see on stage and what I will do in privacy at home or not so private, you know, just at home. But I just feel like people are hungry for authenticity.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're vulnerable and when you just spill your heart out there, I feel like that is an invitation to others to come into that.
Absolutely.
You know, and I feel like we got to lead the way in that as worship leaders. And so that's what I try to do. And, you know, one of the questions that I'll get asked a lot as a worship leader is, what do you do on the days that you don't feel like it, like the hard days, and you're like, oh, I got to get up again on Sunday morning really early, or, you know, whatever it is. I always tell them, if I'm having a day like that, I just stop and I remember what God saved me from. And I remember that black hole. I remember that pit. I remember the pain I was in. I remember the anger. I remember all of the things that he set me free from. And when I stopped, even like now, it like gives me goosebumps talking about it. When I stop to remember that, I cannot help but want to worship and want to thank him and want to pour out my life to him. When I sing about freedom, it is because he set me free and I am living that out in my life. When I sing about his love, it is because I have a conviction that I have tasted and seen and lived in that love. You know, all of these things that we sing about, to me, this is my life. This is what I have experienced with Christ.
Yeah.
It's not just words on a screen. It's not just pretty melodies. It is the blood, sweat, and tears of my walk with him. And I want that for everybody, whether they can sing or not, whether they're a musician or not. So as a worship leader, I'm doing my best to just put it all out there because I want others to come into that as well.
That's what comes through. And here's my curveball question
Okay.
for the night.
I'm ready, curveball.
With the success, have you felt any temptation to kind of be proud of your accomplishments?
I learned something a long time ago that I do my best to hold on to, and I am not perfect with it. But I learned that the moment the affirmations of people become really important to me, the very next moment, their anger or upset or criticism, it takes me out.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
I also have found that, you know, living in community and having people around me and close to me, people who are not afraid to pop
Right.
that bubble when it gets too big.
I married one.
Yeah, I have those people in my life, and I trust them with my life. So
Yeah,
while I'm
good.
not perfect at it, I do my best to, if someone says, "Oh, I loved this song you did," or whatever,
Sure.
I'm in all humility I can. I say thank you, but I'm letting it go in one ear and out the other. I don't
Sure.
want to like hold on to that. You know?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but someone who was very successful said, "Look, if I believe all of the adoration, I have to believe the criticism too, and I
Yes.
can't do that back and forth
Yeah.
and back and forth."
Yeah.
So yeah, no, and I think you know that those of us who say love listening to your worship and the songs, and that's from the heart, and that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the moment you start seeking that or living by that,
Totally.
you are done.
Yes.
You're back at a miserable place.
Yeah.
I could keep going and going and going, but well, she's got a broadcast show to do, and I'll tell you where to see that. But for people that want to check out more about what you're doing and keep up with it, I mean, like I do,
Yep.
I get the notifications when there's a new song out in video, and those
Yeah.
are great. And the book. What's the best website to find you?
Website would be jesusculture.com. And of course, on all the social media channels, it's just Kim Walker Smith. So.
Okay, cool. Check it out. Any more solo albums coming?
Well, I have a single coming out. As far as a solo record, yes, there will be another one coming out. I don't know when. I'm very much like,
Whenever.
yeah, I gotta
you
like
rent it.
live some life. I
Yeah.
can't really just record songs just to record them, you know? So
Yeah.
I gotta have something I really wanna say.
Yeah, and we got 3 kids, and
Yes,
that's time consuming.
yes, it is.
One last question. I'm sorry.
It's all right, good.
When you had kids of your own, did that help you understand God's love for you?
Oh, immensely. Having kids of my own, it's incredible what it does to your perspective. And, there were times that even after coming to Christ, I would still struggle to fully accept that really you love me no matter what. Like even when I mess up, you still really love me. Are you sure?
Yeah.
And I think I wrestled with that until I had my own kids. And even when, on the bad days, the tantrums, the say things they shouldn't say or whatever, the moments when your child might kind of, oh, that kind of hurt a little bit, that stung. But my love is unwavering.
Exactly.
Unwavering. And that's probably how it's impacted me the most.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good. So much more of this. Brave Surrender. Check out JesusCulture.com and check out Kim when she's on the Life Today program. You can see that at lifetoday.org. Hey, thanks for watching. Please share this video, follow us on social media, and subscribe to this channel.